It's the People's Podcast Show with Adrian Biddle, Melissa Bartlett, and your boy, Kerry Bixby. It's your show, so tell us what you want to talk about. It's the Round Table Podcast Show. All right. Back in the saddle once again, so to speak. Feel good, man. I get to spend some time with my peoples and stuff, especially Mel, aka Miss Pitbull, that came on rocking the keeping nice and tight and luxurious in the back and got that one hang to the side. Shoot.
Look, it is hair wash. Look, family, we keep it real, right? It is
Right.
hair wash time. And I'm like, I am not gonna get on there and my family see my hair and my roots and everything looking crazy. So, you cover it up, keep it fashionable.
Right, right.
And yeah, that's how this do.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, sis.
How was your Wednesday, brother?
My Wednesday was pretty chill. Funny you mentioned as far as hair wash day. This is my no shave day today. Y'all can see I'm looking kind of scraggly, so I'm gonna have to go get with my stylist later on so she can do me right and hopefully be nice and direct for the weekend and such. But yeah, it was pretty chill today.
How much you pay for your haircuts?
Not a ting, not a ting, there, man. Hey, look, hugs and kisses. Let's put it that way. I got one of those stylists.
I'm gonna need you to give my queen a tip. She need a tip jar. I'm gonna need you to give her a little tip outside them little hugs and kisses now.
Okay, I'll make sure I take that up with her and say, hey, you deserve a tip. But yeah, pretty chill. As y'all know, we are the At the Round Table Podcast Show, and we are waiting on the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Adrian A. Money Biddle. He's running a little bit behind, but when he gets on here, it's gonna be on and cracking. So as we proceed to give you what you need, we're having a bit of a quandary today. Okay, I'm just gonna be real. So any of our viewers, if you're on right now, we're gonna throw this out there to you right now because we have two topics that we could actually talk about. Of course, we had posted we were going to talk about brothers go see the doctor. And don't get me wrong, it's nothing dealing with, but it was a very live topic, something that is something that we can relate to. But the other topic just came up as we were talking is what just recently happened with Joe Rogan. I don't know if y'all checked it out or not. Another episode in which somebody getting a little too comfortable and certain language is being utilized. And the question is that okay? What are your thoughts? So we're going to throw it out there to you. Do you want to talk about the doctors and brothers going to see them? Or do you want to talk about the misuse of a certain word in society today? We'll put it out there and hopefully we'll get some response from y'all as we wait for A-Money.
But yeah, I'll comment, family. My take on the Joe Rogan situation is I'm tired of people asking for apologies. I'm tired of people, ignoring that when that saying is people show you who they are, believe them. This man has a right to be who he is. He has a right to believe who and what he thinks he ought to. I don't need apologies that are hollow and shallow and empty, that are not for real. But they are truthful because they all say, I'm so sorry for what I said. It was taken out of content, or I'm so sorry that I offended someone. Yes, they're telling the truth, but you're not apologizing to the insult. You're not apologizing to the injury. You're not apologizing to how it makes your certain people who watch you or who have now been introduced to you feel. You're not apologizing to that because you don't care. So I don't care about apologies. You can save it. You can have it. But we as Black people, as media platforms, as artists, have the right to say, hey, I'm not spending my dollars with a particular company or media or product that feels this way about me as a person because of my color, but still are welcome and accepting to my money that is green. So you have a responsibility to say, hey, I'm not going to do that. And that's it. And leave it alone. But we want to get up here and post and talk about, oh, he needs to apologize. I can't believe it. You're not going to change how this man has been raised and what he thinks. You're not going to change any of that. You're not going to make him feel like he disrespected a group of people. It's not going to change him. Take your dollars and move on. Do your research and say, okay, let me see where this company stands. Let me see what this artist stands for. Let me see what this radio person or this host stands for. And then start saying, okay, I can support them. But when somebody shows you who they are, believe it and leave them alone. Just move your dollars and your attention and keep it pushing.
Good point. Very good point. So, family, looks like we may be talking about that topic because sis done dropped it. Boom. Done dropped it on us. So we'll switch up. Originally, again, we were going to talk about, well, A Money come in, we're going to get his input in as well. On both of the topics. Thank you for liking and showing us some love on At the Roundtable Podcast Show. Just another thing, guys, to let y'all know, it is an open show. So if you would like to be a part of the show, all you got to do is say, hey, raise your hand, and we'll put you on the Black Hollywood Squares. Not a problem at all. And booyah, there he is.
It's A Money.
Y'all are silly. How y'all doing?
Doing fine, brother. What's going on?
We good. What's up?
Doing all right. Sorry about the delay.
Oh, no, that's all right, man.
How that go?
It's okay. You like to keep the people anticipating.
Yeah. It's not every day to get the baritone coming on in.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just so happy all three of us all back together again.
Yes, indeed. Hey, what's going on, Miss Socialite? Thank you for joining us on At the Roundtable Podcast Show. Yo, it's been a minute, boy, since we had a chance to chit chat with our sis.
Yeah. I am excited. Got that little glow going on.
Hey, you know, it's the happiness that I feel when I am doing the show.
True that. Well,
hey, Money.
Yes, ma'am.
Our guest had something to come up, so he had to reschedule. But the original topic was about men's health. However, we are also talking about Joe Rogan and him feeling like,
ooh,
yeah. So I already gave my 2 cents, and honestly, I think we can probably fit both of these in together and you know, talk about both of them. But if you wanted to pick one, you know, which way you want to go tonight?
Both of those are good.
Very good. Very good.
Jeez. I said let's go with the one that's moving the needle right now. Then we can touch on men's health as well.
Woo. Okay.
We're gonna go on Joe.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we'll go on Joe.
All right, we're going on Joe. Shouts out to Miss Renette Canty. Thank you for joining us on At the Roundtable Podcast Show.
Hey,
shouts out to Trav Perry. Trav, the man. Hero on here. Thank you for joining us. Oh, and shouts out again to Socialite. Yo, Socialite is going to drop this. She wants y'all to know 5 years of Socialite celebrating this month. Woo-hoo. Yes, indeed. Miss Socialite has done some wondrous things for At the Roundtable Podcast Show. Making sure we were current on social media, getting on us about that.
Yes.
Making sure we were consistent with social media and some other things. Helping us with a lot of the events. Also being on the show. So, the door is always open to you, Miss Socialite. Anytime you and your king want to come on, just let us know.
Yeah, that verbal tongue lesson she gave us, I still remember.
Yeah.
But it was much needed. It was much needed. That certainly helped.
Yeah.
Well, she dropped her head. She was like, "You don't do what on Instagram?" That was it. It was a wrap.
Yep.
But we love her to death, boy. For sure, for sure. She's one of our ride or dies. So we're gonna talk about Joe Rogan, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about Joe. We're gonna talk about. Let's not talk about Joe. Let's talk about how different organizations, corporate America, different industries, media platforms, provide homes for this type of behavior and action, and then the very intentional cover up, delay of action, and the scripted apology that is automatically pushed out.
Oh, that's PR right there. Miss Socialite, you can chime in on this if you don't mind. Explain to the people about how PR works and stuff like that, because a lot of times some of these big corporations, they got a couple of people in in the midst that handle damage control. So ironically good enough, we got Miss Socialite. She's a PR guru as well. She can definitely chime in. But hey, Money.
I missed Melissa's comments on it earlier, dealing with Joe, but most corporations today, when it comes to that almighty dollar, they tend to actually look the other way as long as they're benefiting off their individual or a group of individuals that's bringing in large amounts of money. But the thing as far as today is that there's no morality in a lot of these businesses as far as content and awareness that you're actually putting out to the masses that actually listen to your network or your platform and things of that nature today. So so right now it's taking a group of artists to actually take a stand against that particular platform in order to actually try to gain some consciousness with people who use it. So should, in y'all opinion, should it even have to take us to make that movement? Wouldn't I guess that might be a good question for Miss Socialite as well. But shouldn't they already have people who monitor content that goes out like that?
I think they do. But I think they say, "Hey, wait, let's see what the blowback's going to be," or let's not, make a big deal out of it. Let's see what happens. I really do. I really think that, like you said, the morale of it is gone. The respect is gone. The actual integrity is gone.
And like Joe said, there's really no excuse for him using the word out, that particular word. I would have loved to actually hear it in its full content to get a better understanding of it. But regardless of that fact, he said, as he stated, there's no room to even be using that word. And then
113 shows, but go ahead.
yes, and then what the unique thing as far as what I was seeing on it is that it looked like he felt completely comfortable using it.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's interesting because what's happened, there's a couple of things that have happened after that. First off, he's apologizing and everything, saying that, it was regretful and shameful for using that type of slur. He removed about 70 of his shows from the platform. But then on the flip side, Spotify, he's doubling down saying he's going to keep the platform and, well, keep him on the platform, so to speak. And then you got another one who's saying, well, confirming the removal of him. So it's just so much that is going on there that I think it's allowing individuals, people from the outside looking in, they're like, okay, so what's really going to happen? And then what normally happens, which we all know, is that something else will catch our eye and our attention, and this thing will get quietly swept under the rug. Joe may do a couple of shows and be all cool and everything, because like I was telling Melissa, he's him getting so comfortable using that word, but he's had African Americans on his show. whether it be, MMA fighters, comedians, whatever case may be. Heck, like I told her, even had, Miss Controversial herself on there. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So it's kind of weird, but then it's like, will anything really happen?
Nope.
No.
Nope. And I want to add a question that Adrian posted as far as saying, should we, have to make that move? Should artists have to make that move? Should we as the actual consumer? Because we are the ones that are carrying the streaming media businesses. Now, it's just been proven that Black people spend the most money. So if we as Black people say, hey, I'm not dealing with you, Spotify. I mean, even with us, we as a podcast, we are using them as one of our streaming services. If we decide to say, hey, you know what, we don't want our content on Spotify, we'll use the other streaming platforms that we have. As individuals that have monthly subscriptions with them for music and whatever the case, say, hey, I'm after this month, I'm done. You can go ahead and remove me from that. That's your right. Because what we as Black people, I feel, are failing is we're picking up the old way of trying to make change when change has happened. Now it's time to have influence. And we're at the place where we have influence versus our ancestors who really just needed to try to make change. So we already know money makes the world go around. If you start withholding your dollars and you start saying, I'm going to patronize BLK and all these there are some actual Black streaming services, and then you can do that. I don't understand why we as Black people, we have made it. We have overcome. We have 1 and 2 comma salaries, and we still making the white dude rich instead of people who have gained money, influence, getting your own, so you can have your own and you don't have to worry about this.
Good point. That's a very good point. Well, trying to think of how to word it.
Charlie Two said she's been
going
contemplating leaving.
She said, I will admit India had been contemplating leaving, hearing her viewpoint. But is it, I guess that's the question, is like, there's strength in numbers, first and foremost. So what will it take for individuals to do that? Multiple individuals doing that, and going over to a different streaming service. For example,
we do what we want to do. Look, you know what? We do what we want to do. Let a line dance come out. Why is it so hot? Let a booty video come out. It's over 1 million views in 2 days. I don't want to hear that. We do what we want to do. We get on and join what we want to. It ain't no scientific hypotenuse that need to be given to Black people to unify. They just don't want to do
it.
Good
so
point.
True. That's so true. I'm just surprised it hasn't been an outcry. I don't subscribe to Joe Rogan, so a lot of this recent information that has came out is kind of new to me. But the ones that do, I'm surprised, and the many times that he done said it over the course of his career on that platform, Spotify, I'm surprised it hasn't been outcries earlier about him using no choices of that particular word. That's the head scratcher to me.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think too, unfortunately, what's going on right now, and Melissa and I were talking about it earlier, is the fact that over the past 4 to 5 years, we've seen more people being more aligned with controversy, drama, just negativity. Prime example of what's going on in Canada right now with the truckers.
Ooh.
Okay. It just seems as though what was wrong is now right, and what is right now being wrong. And you know, people like controversy. For the past 4 to 5 years, we have seen individuals come out of their comfort zone and become very vocal and acting certain ways that used to be in the dark and hush hush. And now these platforms are popping up and they can say what they want, do what they want, and they're getting an okay in regards to it. And it's just like, when does that stop?
Uh-huh. That's a perfect comment, and you see that it's obvious as far as in the United States, i.e., the Republican Party doing revisionist history on the insurrection, which they dub now as a disagreement of people, citizens in the United States,
Yeah. Basically
downplaying.
watered it down.
Goes back to what I said. Why are you fighting for change? You shouldn't fight for change. You need to fight for your spot in a respectful, have a respectful disposition and position in society that's going to be beneficial to you, your family, your community. Quit trying to get people to change. They've been editing history ever since history was done. What makes you think they're not going to edit this? They're going to always edit it, especially when it comes down to them.
Mm.
So you're going to spend all this time, money, and energy with posts and protests to try to change something that hasn't changed. For what? But you are still not making your position a solid one in this community. Quit fighting for the wrong thing.
Good point.
Good point. Yes. Good point.
Charlie 2 says, so here's why I said contemplating it after hearing her out. She said it was about her integrity and alignment with who she wanted to be and inviting others to join with her alignment for themselves.
That's your right. It's your opinion.
Charlie said, I agree. VBFF, it's about, for me, supporting the change I want to see in myself and community. Emphasis on unity. I like that. I definitely like that.
Nice.
But you know what? The irony is, and just to piggyback off what you're saying, Mel, because that is very true, is the fact that we tend to fight for the wrong causes, and we tend to strike when the iron's hot, but then afterwards we don't put no heat to it. It's just like, we're all up in arms about things that occur, and yet we know this is a constant. And then afterwards, when it's died down because something else has drawn our attention, that problem, that situation is still there. Mm-hmm. It's one in the list of many. And then we don't pay any attention to it anymore. But then another situation. Matter of fact, bringing up what me and Adrian has talked about, I don't know how many times. Flint. Do you hear anything else about Flint water crisis and stuff that's going on right now? You haven't.
You know how many people commented on that show, bro? Like, yo, I forgot. And they were honest. They was like, yo, I forgot this still was an issue. Like, it's still an issue.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's as though it doesn't. It's unfortunate when certain things catch our attention that really doesn't do anything to help us as individuals or community. It'll catch our attention and we'll be all for it. And there's really no substance to it. But the things that really should catch our attention, the things that we should really hang our hat on, the things that we should really back and support, we don't. We just here today, gone tomorrow.
And we as parents are bad. How many parents had their kids doing TikToks and be like, hey, why don't you try to do this? And then you're not taking your kid to go to a women's shelter or to give to the homeless or say, hey, let's do our own food drive, or hey, let's make sure that we do something for our community. Let's go around and pick up trash. But you've seen those videos as well, but you're not imitating that, but you making sure that your child is on doing a TikTok and the dance for what? To hopefully get fame? 15 seconds. I mean, I don't understand when that lesson of giving back to your community would have such a broader and such a deeper impact with your child. I'm not saying that it's not fun. I laugh at them. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying that there has to be a balance. And I think we as a Black community, we have lost our balance. We are so one-sided right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
one-sided.
We are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I gotta play this card real quick. I hate to do it, but I know a lot of people have been very, very entertained, which entertainment is good. I want to say this first and foremost before I get into this. We need entertainment. Okay.
Yes.
Entertainment is great because it takes us away from things that happening in the world.
Right.
Okay. But I think a lot of times some of us get so caught up in the entertainment realm that we forget about the real world and things that are going on. I mean, everybody loves, like I had posted a picture or meme just the other day about power. Okay.
Yep.
And then, it's that graphic about, Zeke,
Right.
it was
It was
funny.
funny to me.
It was funny, it's a moment because I knew everybody was talking about it. It's a piece of entertainment that everybody enjoyed on Sunday evening.
Right.
Okay. Come Monday, it's time to get back to business. All right. It's time to really, put feet to the ground, irons in fire, and let's do work and stuff like that. But a lot of times some people don't do that. They get caught up in that realm, whether it's these reality TV shows, all these things, which is a topic in itself because to me, a bunch of rich sisters sitting up there and always arguing and throwing alcoholic drinks on each other and stuff like I just can't understand it. But we get so captivated over it. And we just like, we gotta watch it. And we gotta, and like even the verses that is going on, I love the fact that, that came up and, it's music, old school music, musicians, they're really getting back into it and they're having versus challenges and things of that nature. But I challenge this. How about a versus on doing something for family or community or something like that and see who can do it, and kind of like, I don't know. It's just, I'm just kind of like thinking outside, but it just seems as though our attention is always elsewhere. And we have real life problems that are going on right now, and things that are happening.
Well, since we are the no, go ahead. I'll let y'all read Charlie's thing.
I've been thinking many are allowed because it's trendy and it's about the show, not showing up.
Oh,
It's easy to make noise, but it's difficult to make your voice impactful.
oh, oh, and that's somewhat segue into what I'm about to say. Very good point, Charlie. So, if we are the People's Podcast, I'm gonna throw a little challenge out there,
Uh-oh.
and hopefully I'm
Did he
not
clear his
put.
throat? Did he say?
He's
hopefully,
about to dig it in.
and hopefully I'm not putting you both on the spot. But and we can ask our viewers too. Let's pick a cause
Okay.
as a podcast and push it and stick with it. And we on our end make change because if we out here talking about it, then we have to do it too. So
Gotta
Yeah.
talk about it. Just be about it.
Yeah. Be
that's
about it.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Definitely.
Yeah.
feel like this too, guys. Just to kind of piggyback, and I'll tie both of what both of you guys said. Reality sometimes is really tough.
Hmm.
And so we don't have the proper treatment. And I'll have treatment as a blanket statement because we all
Mm.
need different kinds of treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to check out of the reality when it's very hard for you and you're not getting the treatment to get the help to get better or to have your situation improve versus looking at someone else or even finding delight in someone else's turmoil because it's you don't have to deal with yours. And
Hmm.
so this brings the whole scope of things that could be done for our communities, like education and information and therapy, opportunities that don't always come with a community center and a basketball hoop, but something that will truly honestly give people a
Mm.
chance. I don't want to hear about what you don't have when you've had opportunities to go to school, have free training. I mean, these type of things. I'm talking about the people who don't even know what is out there for them. All they know is what they woke up to the next day. You know what I'm saying? And Adrian, talk about a cause. I tell my children, when you're feeling down, do something for somebody else because it helps you feel better. If we could have one cause and have, you know, outside of the three of us, but have a community that actually will provide and support it, you'll see such a change. You'll see such a flourishing in people's attitudes and in how they feel about themselves. And when you feel good about yourself, you want to look good. And not only do you want to look good, but you want where you are to look good because you want to reflect that feeling. I think it will have a domino effect if people in communities could actually do that.
It's a good point. That's a
Agreed.
very good point. Shouts out to Jeremiah Holt joining us on At the Roundtable Podcast Show. He chimed in about the health part. He said, unless you're proactive in your own health care, you allow others to control your life. Good point. That's a very good point. I'm glad he said that because it's kind of tying into tonight's topic, y'all. Is kind of like a twofold, but they're starting to intertwine right now because we originally was on here to talk about, brothers, go see the doctor. And it's not because you caught something. It's because you're trying to be preventive. But at the same time, we started getting about Joe Rogan and then, just the whole thing about, the use of racial slurs and then how life has shown that some people are getting very comfortable in society regarding how they dialogue with us and stuff. I got to bring this up real quick because I saw where there was a Caucasian sorority that was mimicking a very prominent Divine Nine sorority and mimicking them and saying negative things. And this was at SCSU, not too far from us. And of course, the chancellor gave a lot of apology regarding it. But my question was, well, what about the organization who is supposed to be a sorority? And if y'all don't know about Greek life, let me just clue you in. Greek life is not all about parties and hazing and things of that nature. There are many Greeks that actually go out and do very good work. Whether you're in a fraternity or sorority, one of the first things you're supposed to do is to understand the brotherhood and sisterhood and then understand your community.
Yep.
But their thing was, we're going to mimic this African-American sorority and we're going to talk junk about them and stuff. But yet I have not seen any statement from the national headquarters of that particular sorority, which should have given a formal apology to the Divine Nine sorority as far as their members doing that. So right now they're just suspended on campus. But I just think it's ironic though that, like what Sis was saying, we kind of don't understand the real fights that are ahead of us. We go and do other things and then we always feign ignorance or I can't.
But the same for those who watch Insecure, Issa Rae, HBO Max, one of the sorority Divine Nines tried to nail the show to the wall because of the insinuation of their sorority being used for one of the characters. So I'm not familiar with the story, but I will research it after this show to see if the actual sorority that was being imitated and being having ignorant stuff done towards it has the same energy.
And a lot of these things is these events that's going on right now and in the public eye right now is kind of cyclical. Like for instance, it's Republican state lawmakers basically crusading the past legislation against critical race theories.
Theory.
Yes, so
Mm.
talking about teachers talking about racism, sexism, and other issues of systemic inequalities in the classroom. And the thing about it is that I remember listening to NPR, and this was one-sided, so I mean it's open to everybody's interpretation. But a lot of people are saying that they are feeling um, um, picked
I
on
laugh when
because
I
of their
hear it.
picked on. Yeah, picked on from what their ancestors had done, and it's
You're
really
making me feel guilty, A Money. You're making me feel guilty.
and really it's not picking on you. It's actually enlightening you to some of the transgressions that goes on in society right now that you may not be able to recognize because you're not involved in it. It's not actually affecting you directly. So for the Republican lawmakers,
However, but it is,
mhm,
because you have to
Mhm.
understand that everything that you have done, your way of life, everything that you've been able to obtain and maintain has been because of what happened in the past and how your ancestors set it up.
Mm.
I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, well, it's not really me. Yes, it is, because you're still benefiting from it.
mhm.
Ooh.
Well, let me rephrase that: impacting them indifferently. They,
Yeah.
Yeah. They not on the, as my uncle say, you ain't on the underside of the shovel. That's why.
ooh, I like that one.
She come
I
up
like
with them every show.
all the time.
So Charlie Tools was saying, I have several on my side I do alone. I have and will continue to be a fundraiser and volunteer for Susan G. Komen. I have purchased tablets
Good.
and donated to children at schools. My friends are on the faculty. I show up wherever I can to impact my community. While I am a part of the community CEOs here in Nova, I can say you can donate to Read with Carly Community, which is modern day reading rainbow effort by author Carrie Covington for one. Oh yeah, that's a very good
That's
one.
a
Thank you for
good
bringing
one.
that one up. Very good.
Yes.
She said, I do it because I am from a family that lives by you can't succeed alone. So do for someone else as you do from where you are.
Nice.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Charlie's dropping it. She said, yeah, that was bogus. They're owed an apology to the Divine Nine. I agree. I'm telling you. They surely did, and I didn't agree with the AK. So that was from the show Insecure. Yeah, that
Right.
was she called out. I was trying not to call, I'm not gonna call out any uh orgs right now, but she dropped it. So thanks, sis. She said they didn't save your time researching. Yeah, I put it the one that the white sorority did, it definitely is not AK. So I'm just gonna say that real quick. But I think it's interesting because right now, uh, there's a lot of individuals that are realizing what you're saying, sis. There's an artist, and I've got to get his name because I started following him, but he just did a painting and this came up right
Mm.
around, you've seen it, came up right around the same time in which, there's a big hoopla about critical race theory. Why? I don't know. It should be, it should be something that is discussed, um, but yeah, he did this amazing painting in which it showed, African Americans, the history, basically, very prominent piece, but it showed a woman of Caucasian persuasion painting over them with whitewash. It has made such a profound statement that he's been on various news outlets. Um, the prints can't even stay in stock. He gets prints made and they're flying off the shelf, literally. This brother has done a very poignant and thought-provoking piece
His name
that,
is Jonathan Harris.
thank you, that's who it was. I was sitting there I was on here trying to look for him because I follow him and stuff, and I said, shoot, I can't go through all these hundreds of artists and stuff. Love him to death. But yeah, Jonathan Harris, amazing piece that he's done. Amazing. And it's really caused a lot of dialogue. But it makes me question again, will the dialogue continue or will it die down?
All we get is dialogue. Then you get all of these dumb corporations and
Mhm.
enterprises hiring, including the county, hiring people to talk about inclusion and diversity and like the evolving of, you know, a workforce. You have all these different people that all these different corporations that have this because it's the hot thing. But what are you really doing? Talking about it. You holding meetings, holding virtual fairs and having people ask questions, and but what does that do to the structure of the corporation when your boardroom and your stockholders is 80 and 90% white, 95% white? When your managers and anyone in director positions and anybody over department heads, you have one black woman to every 5 white people, because it's going to be male and female white. What does that, I mean, what is the point of all of this dialogue? What that's all we're getting. And that's my frustration with us as a black person. You can sit down and have a conversation with somebody, but what happens after that? You can hold a fair, you can hold a survey, but what happens after that? You report the results of the conversation in the survey, and that takes a whole nother year. And then you have luncheons and celebrations about the new department and how many people completed the survey, and then that takes another year. And then you have all of these distractions, and there's nothing moving, there's nothing changing, there's nothing about you having a representation of what America really is in your business.
Charlie too just said too. She said DEI is hot in training, but that is just so they can say they did. Wow, implementation is lacking. Yep, I said that too. Charlie on fire tonight, y'all.
She is.
She is on fire. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing that we need to start understanding is that when you start something, you got to finish it. You can't just start it and then just stop. And a lot of times you can't leave it in other people's hands as well.
Yes.
You can't. I mean,
I don't know why. I just feel like it started with that actual result. Like, I don't think that this is even something that started because they care to have a finish. Like, hey, let's just do this. We're going to do this and we're going to check this box and then that's it. Because nothing ever happens. And this has just been repeated over and over and over again. I don't care what industry you're in. You know, federal government, local government, you know, finance, you know, broadcasting, I mean, medical field, like every industry has this same thing. And it's starting to feel like a little insulting to me, honestly.
So what do we do then? What do y'all think? That if that is the case and we're not seeing effective change, then what do we do? Because I kind of heard a little bit of it as far as, you know, like individual wise, but even then, you know, my thoughts may be totally different than so-and-so's thoughts. You know, what do we do?
Run for office. Those like seriously, those like-minded people that has those same views as Richard stating, you might have to take that in consideration and consider about running for official office.
I think that's where the dialogue needs to happen, guys. We don't need to talk to them across the table. We need to talk to each other. That's just my opinion.
Charlie said, well, here's a thought. You can start it, but that's only as successful as a relay. You know, 4x4. You need a piece at catalyst and an anchor to pull it through. Good point. 4x4 relay, man, right here. I remember those days. But you're only as strong as your team.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you always have, you know, since you want to talk about relays and stuff, I know we always used to have the guy that was strong. The booster. Get us out there ahead of everybody. Just get us out there, okay? Second leg, he depends on first leg. You know, it's all good. He's going to do what he got to do. But in the event he's not strong enough, That third leg, he's the guy who gonna make up for the second leg. He had a bad burrito the day before. I got you, man.
Oh,
I
dang.
got you.
Oh, that's a nasty pain.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you. But then all of a sudden, you got your ankle leg.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you imagine running on that?
Hey, you either gonna run fast or you gonna take your time. Going to extremes. You can't coast. You know, I mean, but
He went from this to this.
running all tight, whole body tight. Ugh. But then again, the anchor is your guy. The anchor can bring you, if you 200 yards, he got you. He what you call the horse. The horse comes in. But I mean, that's the thing though, because even using that analogy when it comes to us in, like, say, either in entertainment or us in media and entertainment, let's put it that way. It's so hard for us to work together. It's so hard for someone to say, you know what? I got the perfect relay. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna sell this deal. I'm gonna set up the meeting. You guys come in and you make it happen. You make the presentation. And then we're gonna have somebody come in and they're just gonna put the bow on it. And we're gonna get this. Somehow, some way it gets convoluted and somebody feels as though this person is getting more notoriety than this person and stuff, or they're gonna make more. And it just does. We have a habit of not effectively working with each other sometimes.
This is very true. And we have become a very selfish, greedy, gluttoned community. I gotta get mine. I gotta secure the bag. I. Nobody is looking to help somebody else. Nobody's trying to do this. Which is what you gonna get me? What you gonna do for me? I want to play nice with you because I need what you got, or I need to get to where you get. No one's trying to help anybody anymore. You know, if you were a baker and I was, say, somebody who decorated, I'm going to automatically be like, hey, this is an event. Do you already have a baker? Because I have one.
Mm-hmm.
That is as simple as that. And 9 times out of 10, my reference, because of you hiring me, my referral already has weight. So they're going to say, well, you know what? I think we got one, but let me see. Let me check out your guy. Mm-hmm. You know, nobody does that.
You know,
that's a lie, because I am part of a group here in Charlotte, but it's very far in between.
And kind of piggybacking off what you and Carrie been saying, I just now realized what may be the missing catalyst in all of this too, that of recent hasn't been involved in a lot of these movements. The church. Now I know the church is supposed to be separate from the state and everything, but no, but I'm saying this as far as some of our most important issues have come up in the church as well, and we would galvanize together in order to either vote certain people into office or either do a movement of our own through the church. I don't, not saying that every church isn't doing their part, but I don't see as much involvement as what my parents grew up with. What I sometimes saw when I was growing up, and now today, as is few and far in between right now.
Because the church is not respected like it used to in the community. Plain and simple. Not only is the church not respected, the people of the church is not respected. Plain and simple. And so we as a people, we don't acknowledge or even want to have any type of affiliation when they're not respected. The church was a place of integrity. The church was a place of trying, if nothing else, they got a chance because you belong to that church and you was a member of that church and that church stood for something. So they say, hey, you stand for something because you belong in that church. People don't respect churches or church members anymore. The Black community don't. The Black community is so woke now that they stopped believing in God. They have gotten to the point where Christianity, if that is your choice of faith, you are criticized and almost cast out in the Black community because that's the white man's religion. So I mean, you have all these little inner wars going on, and they don't have that same feeling like our parents and grandparents did.
Let me let me throw this in real quick. So Terry just came on board. Terry Digsby. Hey baby. She said, hey fam. She said, what's the topic tonight? Well, it's a twofold topic that has like a tree, many branches. Okay, just to let you know. We got about 10, 15 minutes left. So we started out, we were going to talk about, men and their health and brothers go see the doctor and such. And then it's transgressed into actually it's transmorgified itself into you talk about your
I like that.
Say that again. Trent, what?
Morgified. Hey, they say that in church. The pastor will tell you. But then it went from that to basically Joe Rogan and his use of a racial slur, and then we went off and talked about just basically the dialogue and how we need to stand for something, and then it went from that to now we're talking about basically. Well, Charlie, this is a good one. Charlie said, no, not one, but definitely not everyone. When I say I will cheer for everyone until I am up for my place to receive applause, then I'll accept and get back to cheering others on. It is when one stays in the accolades too long, I am up. Woo, you better say that again. It's like going to the buffet table. Everybody's supposed to get to the buffet table, but you want to pull your chair up and just sit at the buffet table.
Charlie is the MVP tonight. She's been spitting hot fire.
Hey, that's cause she get to talk to me.
Only boy, just throwing like hot grease on somebody.
Man. Killing it.
Charlie said it's so woke they're tired. Yeah, that was
go get some sleep.
Yeah, go.
That's true. That's true, Charlie.
SAT words. Hush, not SAT word.
Yeah,
I don't
it felt like it, Charlie. Maybe it did. ACT. That's why we asked him to say it again.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting, Adrian, because you brought up as far as the church being involved. But that's a whole nother road unto itself, because we've talked about many times as far as the poignancy. Ooh, another word.
Somebody been reading the dictionary.
Educated brother came out today on Wednesday. Come on now.
Okay, the poignancy of how church is today. I mean, it is interesting to the fact of it doesn't hold the weight like it used to, but some facets of the church has changed. It's become a bit more business oriented. It's not really hands-on like it used to be sometimes. At least that's what some people are saying. I'm just mentioning what some people are saying because I've had much dialogue with many individuals as far as how church used to be when their mamas or their grandmamas were towing them in there to how it is today, and they don't get that same substance out of it. Ooh, that was a good one too. So Terry said, men worry about everything but their health, pros and cons. Joe, I could really care less if someone uses the N-word. People can only offend you if you let them. Wow.
So what she's doing is taking away the power of the word.
But devil's advocate. I just saw this happen not too long ago. It was funny. And somebody brought up this dialogue and said it. It was on a YouTube channel or whatever. If you get a chance watching Indisputable with Rashad Ritchie, somebody said that, y'all can use the word. And they were like, yeah. But then as soon as he said it, it was war, and he wasn't of the same complexion. So
I'm gonna tell you right now. I hear what you're saying, Terry. I hear what you're saying, Niecy. You know what? I'm gonna respond. And guess what? I'm gonna respond because it's the principle. So you getting popped in the mouth for coming out of your mouth saying something that you shouldn't have been saying. And unfortunately or fortunately, you don't get the right to say it. And that is one of the things and one of the reasons why it's such a big topic. Because the white people have not figured out how it could be okay. And the funny thing is, if they were to say, there's a comedian said they could do a bulletin and say, hey, it's okay, you could say it, they wouldn't even care about it. It's the fact that it's something that we have that they have not had the right to, because they've had the right to everything that we've had, but they don't have the right to that. And that's why they want to say it so bad and want to use it so much.
Well, the irony is they were the ones that were using it. I mean, it was a negative connotation.
It was.
And then now
it gets you popped in the mouth. So you better not say
it. People aren't afraid to live buck wild anymore.
Good point. They are.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie's now saying, LOL, I'm on fire because my feelings are open with the loss of a great human in my circle. I have been in thought a lot too about my own impact if I was to be called home too. This loss tough, but let me know I must continue through my own metamorphosis. You know what? I have to agree with you on that, Charlie. I had gotten that same thing. I got word about a very dear friend that passed away as well, and it does bring a lot of reflection on your position here. And I think that's something maybe many of us need to think about. Even if you don't have someone that has just passed away or someone that was very close and it was very impactful in your life, I think that's one of the things to even challenge some of the young people today. The old people, they're caught in their ways. They're going to do what they do. We done seen it. We see in politics how they are or whatever. So, but this new breed that are coming in, the young people that are in our communities right now, things of that nature, maybe that's the thing we need to challenge them and say, okay, so what type of impact do you plan on having in your life and in somebody else's life? What type of legacy are you going to leave for others to follow?
There you go. Even our great, like I have 2 generations past. Actually, my grandfather and his father were sharecroppers. And they always had the mentality to have something to leave so their kids can have it better and it will be passed on and passed down. Funny thing is we have more opportunity. We've been able to gain more tangible things and certain things, and we don't teach our children, or nor do we raise our families with legacy as being a priority. We give them what they want now. We don't teach them about investing. We don't teach them about legacy and having longevity. We don't teach them any of that. We don't set anything up for them like that. We live for the now. We get it now. You'll buy your child a pair of Jordans and they're not even 10, and you spend $100 or $120, but you haven't take that $120 and it equals a CD or a savings account or something. So they won't have to start by whatever they were able to make at McDonald's over the summer when they grown. Like, this is where we as people have dropped the ball. And yes, we have educated and knowledge, and there are people doing a lot better, but there's so many that's not. And you're doing it and you're snubbing your nose at the people who are ignorant to it. That's another problem. That's another problem. You ain't got to a certain tax bracket and now you above Bobo and Boom Quisha and Lil Ray Ray. You above them. Okay. You don't want to talk to them about investing and hey, get an insurance policy. That be honest, young lady. You got 3 kids with 3 different dudes. You need to have an insurance policy on all of them.
And stop looking down on Lil Ray Ray.
And stop looking down a little Ray. He can't help it.
Mm-mm.
Ray gonna be somebody.
That's right.
Ray gonna be somebody, and I think that's
gonna be somebody.
Yeah, and I you know what? And it's funny that you mentioned this, is just to talk about that, because I think me and Adrian has talked about it many a times, as far as, you know, how our parents raised us, you know, and the things and the sacrifices that they did in order to give us what we have. And I was just talking to my son about that. You know, many times, you know, these kids want to have the latest and the greatest. And I'm like, wow, you know. And I told him, I remember when I played basketball and I didn't even have a pair of Jordans when I played ball. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be transparent. I had a pair of Cougars playing basketball because that's all my parents could afford.
Who?
Cougar. Cuga. Look it up.
I remember those.
Pick and pay.
Y'all are a little older. Y'all are a little older than me, so
very older. Very older.
And jocks.
Jocks, man, I'm telling you, it's like.
No.
That's what
I've never heard these shoes before.
But yeah, you were bougie. You were bougie.
I was not.
You were bougie.
You saw how she looked down on us.
She looked down. Her nose was like this.
And then she threw an ageist comment out there.
Yeah,
you catch that? You
I never heard of these things, because it may be because you guys are a little older than me. That's all.
Anyway,
there you go again.
But it was because, here's the thing: our parents sacrificed for us to have. So it's a twofold thing, that if we as children were really paying attention, we would carry that over into what we do. So even now, I appreciate what my parents did. And even though I didn't have the latest and the greatest as some of my other friends and such, I'm glad they invested in me in other areas, which equate to me being here now. And now I could easily go out and buy a pair of Jordans if I wanted to.
Size 7, size 6.5.
Yeah, just
wanted to buy some Jordans, but
if I want to, I can go do that. But what they instilled in me is, why would you go do that when your money could be placed elsewhere? My kids and my wife gets on me about that all the time. They say, you never spoil yourself. I'm like, because I have to make sure the family is okay first.
Yep, I hear that too.
You know, so then if the family's okay, then I can go and do something. And it's kind of like what Charlie was saying. If I'm over here rooting for you, eventually I'll get my time. But let me do this first. And it's all about what you said, sis, the investment portion of it. We have failed to truly invest in our children now. We have failed to invest in our communities now. And we fail to invest a lot of times in ourselves. There's a lot of opportunities that we have in order to go back, like you did. You went back to class. You were doing things to better yourself, you know? But we tend to not do that. And then we want to cry foul when we see other individuals either getting promoted or something.
Passing you by.
I tell young brothers this all the time. When you're sitting there blowing $500 in the club to get a table, to have that bottle come across the club with a little sparkler on it, you could have took that $500 and invested in, got yourself an LLC and become a legitimate business owner.
And look, and get the table through your business as a business deal or a business event, and then write it off at the end of the year. However, you know, that's a whole nother show.
Charlie said, the youth are ill-prepared and disconnected. I always say, keep glowing. Your light isn't just for you, and the light you are following was the glow of others before you. Whew.
That's a mic drop moment.
That is a mic drop. She's on fire tonight, y'all. Fire. Be careful with what you illuminate. Oh, my sister from another mister. I tell you,
that's right.
Oh, gosh.
Don't cry, Adrian. Don't cry.
That what kind of made that hit? It's real. It's real.
Oh, Terry said potential topic, but we can talk about it real quick. Do you owe your parents for the sacrifices they made?
Heck yeah. But that's another topic. We'll get into that later. Somebody write that down.
I owe my parents to make it. That's what I owe my parents.
That's a good one for for another show right there.
That's a
Because there
very
are
good one.
some parents out there that like to hold it over their kids' head. And I don't agree with that. I don't.
Yeah, it's true. I just saw, now that you bring that up, I just saw a video in regards to a young man who chose to go to the University of Miami. His signing day. He's there and he's got his people behind him and everything. And he signed to go to the University of Miami. His mom walked out of the signing because she had on a jersey to another college that she wanted him to go to. She literally walked out. Left him there. She was hot. Left him there. This is a monumental time for this young man. Yes, mom, you made sacrifices. Yes, you pushed him to become better. But our job as parents to get them there. But get them there for themselves. Not get them there because it's our wishes or we're living vicariously through them. Boy, that hurt my heart when I saw that right there. I was so hot. Charlie said,
leave my mama out of this.
Ooh, yeah, yes, sis. That hurt my heart. That hurt my heart right there. I remember when I sat with my oldest and he signed, and I knew, and I had already told him, and his mama told him, his grandmama told him, baby, you do this for you. You go where you want to go. I told him, as long as you get an education, I'm good wherever you go. As long as you go there and realize you get an education and you're not up there partying, you can go wherever you want to go. But yeah, that mama right there, ooh.
You can slip into that. You can. And I'm guilty. I have with my girls. I have slipped into it because sometimes you're trying so hard to make sure that they don't either fall trap to some of the things that was yours, your snares, or you're trying to like help them not have to worry about the snare. So you're trying to like carry them over and you know, and you get into the point where you're too involved. And so I speak to my daughters as adults now, and I tell them, I will be engaged, but I will not be involved. There is a totally different, those are two different things. Engaged means I'm aware and I'm on the sideline for when you need me. Involved is you so in the middle of it, they ain't even got to tell you nothing because you right there by their side. And that's just not the way I feel as parents need to be.
This is true. Yeah, it was, Charlie. You're right. Terry said, I don't envy anyone popping bottles or flashing cash on social media because their kids are still on Medicare and their baby mamas are collecting food stamps. Whoa.
Woo! This podcast to tell people how you really feel.
Shots blown, shots thrown. Hey, got to be careful about doing that, though. They just had not too long ago about, a so-called coming up rapper out there flashing cash and stuff, and he got rolled, and they filmed rolling him. That's an oxymoron. You flashing cash on social media trying to be on the come up, but then they rob you and they filming while they robbing you.
You get no respect in the street. No more.
This is true. He was, Charlie. He really was. I mean, that's the thing. I had to, after I saw that, I actually had to pray about that thing. Pray for him, rather. That, he doesn't leave or get off that path that he knows he needs to be on. Yeah, that's what we need to do, especially over our kids nowadays.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You better pray over them because the things that you think your children won't do or may not be either influenced or even introduced, they will, because this is the world that we're living in. And as you both have brought up, that it appears that it's so much negativity in the atmosphere. What's right is wrong, what's wrong is right, and having negative and condescending and disrespectful, lack of integrity and morals, like that's the thing that people want to base their behavior on now, and that's not what you raise your children. So They need it. They definitely need it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, family. Terry said Charlie said we're in the upside down. Wow. Yeah. Right is right, wrong is wrong. It's about that time, y'all. Man, every time it's just something else. I'm telling you.
That's because you know what? Our energy is back. We are together.
True that. True that.
He's so smooth with it.
True that. True. Wait a minute, hold on. True that.
Oh man, you know she had to do that though. Bro.
I know. She's
been missing it.
I've been waiting on it.
I miss A Money.
Likewise, sis. Likewise.
Oh, good night. Grateful I showed up. Yes. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Miss Socialite. Thank you, Trav.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everyone that has showed up on the At the Roundtable podcast show. You actually caught us, and all three of us are together again. Jeremiah, thank you for joining us on At the Roundtable. We appreciate it as well. Yo, Miss Canty, thank you for joining us. If y'all get a chance, as usual, if you could share this show, just like what Charlie was saying, be a cheerleader. Cheer for us. Share this content. Let other people hear our voices and watch us just climb, do amazing things. Yes. What was it, Maya? Still I rise. Still I rise. Yes.
Yeah. Let's not even talk about that, because you know my conspiracy theory about the women being on the coins that are in shortage, that's not going to be in production, but you know, whatever. Let's
go. That's another topic.
That's another topic.
Thank you, Charlie. And sorry for your loss too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. Well, we definitely appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. Again, share the show. Stay tuned. We're gonna have this one up on our YouTube channel, along with other episodes, as well as our website. You can go there and check it out. And we definitely want to make sure that we're bringing you guys and girls the content that you deserve. Not a lot of fluff, but real, and it's because of y'all, because it's People's Podcast.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
A Money, what you gonna take us out tonight? A Money.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take us out with "Rest in Peace, Betty Davis."
Yes, indeed.
Enjoy everybody while they're here.
Oh yeah, Charlie. Glad you mentioned that. Definitely. Well, y'all, we'll do it again real soon. Y'all be blessed and highly favored, and talk to you later.